Welcome to Perfect Fit Closet's weekly webinar. Today is Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. Today we'll be talking about our basic training. We have different types of module types that we'll be discussing, primarily the tall module, wall modules, stackable modules, and outside corner modules. In addition to our tall modules, we're also going to talk about our tall module singles, wall modules, and wall module singles, and when to use them. Thank you very much for everybody joining us today that's already logged in. We always record our sessions, so if you have any questions, please use the chat feature. Ask any questions that you might have. All our participants will be muted today. All right, I have my 2020 design software up and running. On my local browser on the left-hand side, today I've decided to use the Perfect Fit Canada US catalog. The only differences between our Canadian catalog and the US catalog is just pricing. On the top left-hand side, I'm going to click on Room Layout, and I'm going to click on our continuous wall button. I'm going to make an L-shaped unit today. I'll make it 180 inches by 180 inches. Click on Escape. And I've got two walls ready to go. I'm going to right-click on the walls, go into my properties. I'm going to select the entire group. It's all selected in green. I'm going to click on my heights. The default for my 2020's preferences is 96 inches. Everybody's designers and 2020s are all going to be a little bit different on your preferences. And I'm going to go ahead and change that from 96 inches default height to, let's say, 130 inches. Click on Apply and OK. I'm going to select my first wall and double click that area to grab my elevation view. And again, I'm going to click on my second wall. I see it's currently selected. It's all highlighted in blue. Double click on that area. And now I've got another elevation. I'm just going to go ahead and label everything so everybody can see what I'm working with today. That's going to be my elevation 1. Going under my annotations, add note, and I'm going to add another note on here. I like to add as many notes as possible to make it easier for the end user as well as the installer to identify what they're working with. And then the same thing with elevation 2. I'm just double clicking on this tab feature and I can simply change the actual name. Again, annotations, add note, and I'm going to add a note here to add elevation 2. And then over here, once again, on my top view, add note, click, and we're going to add elevation 2. Click on OK. I did discuss how that you can change the settings on your notes. You can click on your note. It's currently highlighted. Click on the note again, and now you're going to see the round squiggly line with the triangle. I'm going to left click and hold on that squiggly line, and I can actually move and rotate the actual notation. Now that I have my walls all set up, we're going to use the elevation view. With our 2020 closet catalog, we primarily use the elevation view. This differs from our kitchens. A lot of designers will use the top view for their kitchens. All right, so here's my elevation 1. Underneath my categories, I have my modules, parts, accessories, moldings, obstacles, extras, and kitchen door and kitchen drawer fronts. Underneath our module sections, in our modules, we have our stackable modules, wall modules, tall corner, left outside corner, island modules, and some dummy helpers, a vertical and horizontal dummy helper. The first module that I'm going to show is a tall module. Here is my tall module. I always want to work with my regular tall modules, my regular wall modules, never the single. I will show you what the singles mean. A lot of dealers get a confusion. What the singles mean is that you can resize the width right on the elevation view. Myself being a user every single day and looking at numerous kit files a day, I strongly recommend to not use the singles only when you want to fill in gaps. Let's take a look as an example. If I grab a regular tall module, I'm going to drag it into the elevation view. I see my magnet. I'm going to go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse, I'm going to right click on the illustration so I can see it a bit better. I'll keep it at the default height of 83 15/16. Let's just go down the rows and see what our next option is going to be. I need one module with one opening. Opening depth, we can keep it at 14 inches as our default closet standard. Opening one width, current default is 12 inches. I click on the drop down button and I have a whole bunch of presets such as 15 inches, 18, 24, 30, 36, and then I can go to custom. I'll make this one 30 inches wide for now. I do want my panel on the left fully drilled, panel on the right is fully drilled, bottom shelf and a top shelf. I'll click on OK, and I'll drop it in. I'm going to just right click on the module and go up and down and bring it all the way down to the ground. This is a regular tall module. Here, I know that there's going to be an adjacent wall on the right-hand side here. This is an opportunity where I will use a tall module single to fill in the gap. I can take my tall module single, left-click my tall module single. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, and let go of my mouse. So this time, I'm going to right-click on the illustration, take a look at the actual rows on this dialog box that populated. There is no predetermined width because we're resizing it right on the elevation view. Okay, let's just quickly take a look here at the properties. 83 15/16. The opening depth is 14 inches. Panel on the left. I'm going to remove this panel. I'm going to click on this drop-down button and click Panel Removed. The left panel from the illustration, as you can see, the panel has been removed because I'm going to share it with this existing panel right here. I do want a top shelf, bottom shelf, and a toe kick. I'm going to click on OK. Now you can see my module. You can see the guidelines. I'm moving my mouse and I'm not hitting any mouse button. I'm going to go to my farthest left. It snaps into place with my existing module. Left click once. And now I'm going to move my mouse to the right. And you can see that we're just filling in the gap. Left click once. And now I've filled in the gap. Now, if we take the tall module single and we'll put it in this open area here, I have my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse. Now, this is a common mistake that I see here. I'm going to right click on the illustration. I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to drop the module. Let's just say we go to my farthest left and we'll just keep going to my farthest right and I can drop it in. So theoretically, I can keep building my units like this. So here's one module. I can grab another tall module single. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse, and let's do the exact same thing. Right click on the illustration. We're going to subtract the panel on the left because we're sharing it with this current panel here. Click on OK. Now I'm going to snap into place, left click once, and then I'm going to move it ever so slightly to the right. Drop it in. And as you can see here, now I have actually created another module with a tall module single. The reason why I stress not to use this is because a lot of times I will add accessories. I know if I go back into my dealer portal, I can go into my products and go into accessories. In my dealer portal, I have a large range of accessories that I can add to my current existing modules. There are certain items such as your tilt-out laundry baskets, your wire baskets, your pant racks, your shelf-mounted ironing boards, and so forth. A lot of those accessories can only accommodate 18, 24, and 30-inch wide modules. Well, we need to be exact. So if I use my actual tall module single, I know that this current module is 27 3/4. I'm kind of moving it to the side. It has to be accurate to the T. It has to be exactly 30 inches or 24 inches. So it's really difficult to actually resize this module where you want to go moving your mouse. It's kind of very difficult. It's easier if you just grab a tall module, drag it into place, and say, you know what, I want a predetermined width of 24 inches. So I'm just going to right click on the illustration and pick my pre-opening width of 24 inches. We'll click on OK and drop it in. So now I have a 24-inch opening, right, inside widths. Now let's take a look at our wall mod or tall module singles. I'm going to put one right here to the right hand side. I'm going to take a tall module single, drop it in. I see my magnet. I'm going to let go of my mouse. Now, this is the important part. I'm going to right click on the illustration. We'll click on OK. Now, I'm going to left click once, and I'm going to move my mouse to the right. Now, take a look on the placement view right here on the top left-hand side. I'm going to highlight this here just for a moment. Now, take a look at this right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to click on escape here. I just clicked on it by mistake here. We'll delete that. We'll try it again. Tall module single. So take a look at my placement view once I drop it in. Right click on the illustration, click on OK. Go to my farthest left, left click once. Now I'm going to try to make a 24-inch wide module. Okay. I'm going to keep going to my right till I see 24. Oh, right there. Or I can actually manually hit 2-4 on my keyboard. Now, take a look. I'm now going to hit enter. I'm telling the program that I want a tall module single 24 inches wide. Now take a look at what happens. It's only preset at 22.25, but my outside modules, outside to outside, is 24 inches wide. Therefore, when I use a regular tall module and I tell the program I want 24 inches wide, it gives me a 24-inch wide inside opening. If I use a tall module single and I type in 24 inches, it's going to give me 22.5 because now it's giving me the outside dimensions. So therefore, it does confuse a lot of our dealers. I'm going to click on Note, and I'm going to say that this module is a tall module. And here we have a tall module single. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time so everybody understands. I'm going to left click on my regular tall module, drag it into place. I see my magnet, drop it in. I'm going to make this one 24 inches wide. We'll click on OK. And now we have a tall module that's exactly 24 inches wide inside opening, plus a 3/4 panel on the left and plus a 3/4 panel on the right. Now let's grab a regular tall module single. We'll drag it in. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse. All right, we'll now make this one 24 inches. We'll click on OK. Left click once, and now I'm going to type in 2-4. So take a look at my placement view on the top left-hand side. I'm going to make this width 24 inches. We'll click on enter. And now I get a 22.5-inch inside opening, but it's a 24-inch outside opening. So therefore, it kind of confuses a lot of people. Whenever we're talking about accessories or shelves, we're always talking about the inside openings always, because that's the true opening width. Therefore, please only use tall module singles, stackable module singles, wall module singles, only when you want to fill in the gap. Therefore, it does not confuse everybody. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to a lot of our people. Let's now go to elevation 2 and work on with our wall modules and wall module examples here. I'm going to click on a wall module, drag it into my elevation view. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left. Right click on the illustration. By default, all our wall modules are standard heights at 47 3/8. So 47 3/8 is actually the height of the panel itself. I'm going to make this one 24 inches wide. We'll click on, we want a bottom shelf with a rod. We'll make this a double hang. So all we need to do afterwards is just put in a closet rod at the very top. If you click on the drop down button, we can have no bottom shelf. We can click on with a bottom shelf, or we can click on a bottom shelf with a rod. Okay, let's make a bottom shelf with a rod. Panel on the left, we're going to put that half drilled because we want a clean face on this side. That's going to be an outside panel. We'll click on OK and drop it in. Now, why don't we make a long panel wall module that's off the ground, and this will be available for shelves. Okay, and then we're going to do an edit afterwards. I'm going to click on a regular wall module, drag it into my elevation view. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse. I'm going to right click on the illustration. This time I'm going to increase my heights of my panels from 47 3/8 and let's say all the way to 72 5/8. I'll make this one also 24 inches wide. But this time I'm going to subtract the bottom shelf with the rod and just click on a bottom shelf. We'll click on OK and drop it in. This is a common mistake that I see from a lot of our dealers. So now I have a wall module on the left and a wall module on the right. This one's going to be a double hang. So all I need to do is go into my categories, accessories, and rods, and left click a closet rod and drop it in. So now I've got a double hang, a hanging rod at the very top and a hanging rod at the very bottom. And then I have a shelving bank that I can add drawers or shelves to. But as you can see here, I'm going to just drag this over. I have got 2 panels. Well, we can certainly share the panels. Because the second module that I added is a longer panel, it makes sense to delete this panel, but we're going to keep this one. So we're going to subtract this panel, and we're going to keep this panel. The easiest thing to do is to go back into my first module. I know that it's highlighted. I can see the blue boxes currently highlighting the module. Right click on the wall module and go into attributes. When the dialog box appears, I'm going to click on my illustration, right click on the illustration so I can see it. Click on my variables. In my variables, this is the exact same dialog box when we actually opened this up and dropped it in. I'm going to go all the way to the very bottom. And when it says panel on the right fully drilled, I'm going to click on the drop-down button and I'm going to click on panel remove. You can see from the illustration, the right panel is now removed. We'll click on apply and OK. And now you can see that the panel on the right has been removed. I can now simply take my second module that I placed, go into drag. Drag is always going to be moving from left to right or east to west, west to east. I have it here, go to my farthest left. It snaps into place, left click once. And now I am sharing the actual panel with the existing module. So that's how easy it is to actually change our modules from 2 panels to subtracting 1 panel and sharing it. So if you ever make a mistake and you've added a panel by accident, or you need to remove or subtract panels, you can. Here's another example. I'm going to click on our categories, modules. I'll click on our wall module, drag it into place. I see my magnet, let go of my mouse. I'm going to make the exact same module height here. I'm going to make this one 72 5/8. So I'm going to increase the panel to 72 5/8. I'll again make this one 24 inches wide. And I'm going to make it with just a bottom shelf. We'll click on OK and drop it in. So I'm going to drop it in right about here. Now that I have this in place, since we have an area here that we need to fill, the same rule would apply for my elevation 1 to elevation 2. I need to fill in this gap. So now I'm going to use a wall module single. I'm going to left click a wall module single, drag into place here. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse. Right click on the illustration so we can see it. Let's pretend that we want to make this a double hang, similar to this current first module that we placed in. We'll keep it at 47 3/8. But this time we're going to subtract the panel on the left because we're going to share it with the existing panel here. But take a look as well. Panel on the right, we're also going to remove that panel. We don't need that because we're going to share it with this panel into place. So what we're doing is we're going to share the panel here, and we're also going to share the panel here. So therefore, I'm subtracting both panels. I do want a bottom shelf with rod. We'll click on OK. Now I'm going to go to my farthest left. Now that once that's snapped into place, left click once. Now I'm going to move to the farthest right, left click once, and now I have successfully filled in the gap. Okay. Stackable modules and when to use our stackable modules. I'm going to use a stackable module right here in the bottom right of my elevation 2. Stackable modules and tall modules are the exact same. I could theoretically do two things. One, I can take a stackable module, drag it into my place. I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse. So let's drop in a stackable module here. I'm going to right click on our stackable module. Default for stackable modules are 34 and 13/16. Well, let's just make this one 24 inches wide. And we can make this into a countertop as an example. We can easily put a top and make this a countertop. Or I can shrink it to make it bench seat. Now that's a stackable module. Now if I grab a tall module, drag it into place, I see my magnet, go to my farthest left, let go of my mouse. Now that this is my tall module, I can now click on my up and down arrows and I can easily go all the way down to my default 34 and 13/16, just like my stackable module. Make this one 24 inches wide. Click on OK. And again, now you can see that my stackable module and tall modules are exactly the same. So when would I use a stackable module and when would I use a tall module? The only way that I would use a stackable module versus a tall module is if I wanted to identify it as a designer. If I wanted to, I can take my regular tall module, drag it into place. I see my magnet, drop it in. And let's just make two modules here, a tall module and a stackable module. I'll make this one 24 inches wide. We'll click on OK and drop it in. Now what I can do is I can easily add a stackable module on the very top. I can now take a stackable module, drag it in. And I'll just make this one 24 inches tall. 24 3/4. I'll make this one 24 inches wide. I'm going to subtract the bottom shelf and subtract the toe kick. So now I have an inverted U. Click on OK. Drop it in. And now I can click on my up and down and drop it in. I can go underneath my categories. At the very bottom of my categories, I got stackable, wall module, tall corner, left outside, island module, and horizontal and vertical dummy helpers. I'm going to click on my vertical dummy helper, drag it into place. I see my magnet, let go of my mouse, and I'm going to drop my ruler right here. Now I can easily take my stackable module, click on drag, and butt it up against the ruler. This ruler will serve a purpose by ensuring that my top stackable module and my bottom tall module are perfectly lined up. I can now delete my dummy helper. And now I can go ahead and complete my stackable module. Click on my categories, parts, shelves, and I'm going to grab a fixed shelf here. Just like my other training sessions there, I like to make a stackable module. I like to make an inverted U and then add a regular fixed shelf at the very bottom to make a box. The installer can build this box on the ground and then use a ladder to put the stackable module on top of the tall module. Right click, drag, or sorry, up and down, drop into place because it's already lined up. So here I have a stackable module. And here I have a tall module. So this is a great reference point in case anybody was actually curious about the differences between a stackable module and a tall module. Again, the properties are exactly the same, but I know that it's going to be stackable because if I move this node over, right click on this item, I know that the bottom is a TMod, tall module. That's abbreviated. If I right click on the actual top module, it's SMod, meaning it's a stackable module. So I already know as a reference point, as a designer, I know that that module is a stackable module and it's off the ground and it's used above in coordination with an existing tall module. Last but not least that we're going to discuss today is our outside corner modules. And what does that look like? Let's go back into our elevation 1 and I'm going to go ahead and delete a few modules here. And we'll use this existing tall module. All right, so this is our existing tall module. And this existing tall module, I have fully drilled panels. Fully drilled panels. Okay, we know this is true. We can click on our modules, click on our attributes, go into my variables, and at the very bottom, we can just double check. Correct. Panel on the left is fully drilled. Panel on the right is fully drilled. Click on OK and move on. Underneath my categories and underneath my modules, we have our stackable module, wall module, tall modules. We just discussed this. Tall corner modules, please join us on Thursdays to discuss about our tall modules. Below our tall corner modules, we have the left outside corner module, and we have the right outside corner module. Let's first take a look at what it looks like. So let's go ahead and populate this. I'm going to click on my left outside corner module. I know this is on the left-hand side, so I have my existing module, and we're going to put it right here for my left outside corner module. And right here, we're going to put another one for my right outside corner module. I'm going to click on my left outside corner module, drag it into my elevation. I see my magnet, let go of my mouse, and it snaps into place. It finds the nearest panel on the left. Now I've got a left outside corner module. I'm going to left click a right outside corner module and put it to the right hand side here. I see my magnet, let go of my mouse, and drop it in. Let's go into our presentation tab, go into perspective view, and let's take a look at where these populated. These are perpendicular to the actual existing module that I've already set into place. All right, so there we go. And let's zoom in and add some light so everybody can see. Perfect. So we can see that we have our existing tall module. And now the left outside corner module, I have now got an actual 14-inch deep, fully drilled piece that's connected to the wall. And the same thing on the right-hand side. Now let's go ahead and populate it, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now I'm going to exit out of modules, click on my categories, and now I'm going to click on my parts. Underneath my parts, I'm going to click on shelves. I'm going to scroll down my shelf section all the way down till I see left outside corner shelf fixed or right outside corner shelf fixed. If I take a look at the properties of the information bar, I can see that we have an actual angled shelf. I'm going to click on my left outside corner module, drag it into my elevation view. I see my magnet, let go of my mouse. I'm going to put one at the very top here. Let's take another left outside corner fixed shelf, drag it in, and we'll just drop a few in there. These work fantastic for knickknacks and any items that you want to showcase. Maybe you want to showcase your shoes or purses or something like that. And I'm just going to drag and drop just a few here. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the right-hand side. Right outside corner fixed shelf, drag it in. I see my magnet, and put one at the very top. Put one at the very close to the top, and we'll just add a few more. So again, I'm just dragging my right outside corner shelf fixed. And one more for the bottom shelf. Let's click on the presentation tab, perspective view. All right, I'm going to zoom out and let's zoom in and take a look at what this looks like. So you can see what we've done here. These work fantastic for end panels. If they have a little bit of an end panel and they want to showcase their shoes or purses, or maybe some photos, albums, picture frames, and so forth. Maybe they just finished their university degree and you want to populate it here. These outside corner angled shelves work fantastic. So once again, this is called the left and right outside corner modules. Please note that these are all fixed. They cannot be adjusted to adjustable shelves. If I take a look back at my local browser at the very bottom, I see that I do not have an option for left outside adjustable. They're all going to be fixed. So today we talked about in our Perfect Fit weekly webinar for Tuesday, March 16th, we had some basic training about our module types. We talked about our tall module singles. We talked about our wall module singles, the stackable modules and the differences between our stackable module and the tall module. And then we also discussed our outside corner module. For further basics training, I highly recommend going to our dealer portal, clicking on Training tab, and underneath the Training tab is the PFC 2020 Closet Webinars. The second link here, we have Perfect Fit Closets 2020 Past Webinars. I'm going to left click on our 2020 Past Webinars. The basic training that people have viewed the most is Level 1, PFC Webinar February 16th. For all those designers that want complete basic training on how to create a reach-in closet using our tall modules or wall modules and wall setup, please review our February 16th past webinar. As always, click on our training tab, click on our software tab, so you can train yourself 3 different ways. You can click on our training software tab and click on our training videos. All these training videos are all detailed videos on the setup as well as how to design using our closet. All these videos range from 1 minute to 5 minutes long. That's your first option to self-train. The second option is to attend our weekly webinars every Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're all 1-hour sessions. On Tuesdays, we have our introduction, and Thursdays, we have tips and tricks, and we have a recurring meeting link and our password. Our third and final option is you can click on our 2020 past webinars. And as always, we record all our sessions 1 hour after our recorded session. It will be populated so all our dealers can view this at their own leisure and time. Thank you so much. This is Sherwin Keeley signing off for Perfect Fit, and I hope to see you here next week. Thank you.